How does AI art really work? So you've probably seen AI art flooding your newsfeed. All your friends, with the help of AI, have been transformed into space fairies and hot elves. Now the fact is that AI art looks amazing, it's fantastic, but is there actually a dark side to this fantasy? See, many artists are claiming that AI art is actually theft and that it steals their work and that it could put them out of a job. Recently, it was pointed out that stolen, distorted signatures of real artists can even be found in the corner of AI-generated art, and apparently this proves that AI steals artists' work. But is that true? Recently, AI-generated art even won an art competition, but is it even art? The problem is that there is a mountain of misinformation going around spread by people who have no idea how AI even works. So is it theft? Is it art? Is it the future? I'm going to provide you with the facts and evidence so that you can decide for yourself. Today, you're the judge. But the most important part of all is what's coming next, because this is just the beginning. AI is here to stay, and it will utterly transform the world. Will it pave the way for paradise, or is Skynet right around the corner? We're going to find out now. If you're new to my channel, hit like and subscribe now. It takes just a second for you, but it helps out a lot. But actually do it now. AI art allows you to type in anything that you can possibly imagine, and after waiting for the AI to get to work, it's presented before you with often stunning and mind-blowing results. But how does this work? Is there something dark actually happening within the black box of the AI machine? Many people are claiming that AI is using other people's art to create these images. One individual even pointed out that you can see distorted signatures of real artists in the images, apparently proof that AI art is theft. However, what's actually going on is something else entirely. To understand what's happening, we need to take a quick look at how AI learns. Artificial intelligence learns through what's known as an artificial neural network. In a nutshell, an artificial neural network has an input layer, hidden layers, and an output layer. The general idea is relatively simple. The input layer is fed data that the machine studies. The hidden layers are formed by many nodes or neurons, each of which is weighted, which basically means that the neural network can adjust them. Now, this is where the AI gets to work in creating. Finally, the output layer results in the finished product, what the AI has created. If it's determined that what the AI has created is not very good, then it adjusts its nodes and tries again. This process continues over and over with many nodal adjustments, with hopefully its output becoming better and better. Now, if this process sounds familiar, that's because an artificial neural network is inspired by a very real neural network, a brain. Your brain, composed of many neurons, is a biological neural network, and your learning process and an AI's learning process is actually very similar. Let me explain. Let's say that you want to be an artist, but you've never picked up a paintbrush before in your life. So how would you learn to paint? Well, you would study painting techniques and look at the work of master artists for inspiration. This is like your input layer. Then you would try to create a piece of art by trying different styles, techniques, and adjusting the way you hold your paintbrush or trying different kinds of paints, whether it's oil or acrylic. This is like your hidden layers. Finally, you'd be finished with your painting, and this finished painting is your output layer. If this was your first painting, it's probably not going to be very pretty, so you'd start the process over again. You'd study, try different techniques, then evaluate your work. You'd do this over and over until your paintings, your output became better and better. This is, albeit extremely simplified, extremely similar to how an AI learns through an artificial neural network. Here's the critical thing to understand. AI does not copy or even remix. It creates something entirely new. Many people are spreading misinformation about AI due to a fundamental misunderstanding on how machine learning works. They believe that AI is literally copying other artists' work by, to put it crudely, mashing together and distorting existing artwork, or remixing art by blending together the works of many different artists. That's not what's happening. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't an ethical question here. There is, but the situation is not being presented accurately. There is no mixing, distorting, or blending the work of other artists. So what's actually happening? The AI is actually learning by studying the data of thousands or even millions of pieces of art. It develops a creation technique based on that, then creates an entirely new piece of art based on the technique or parameters it's learned. It's extremely similar to a new artist studying many different kinds of art, developing a technique, then creating an original painting. But what about the distorted artist's signatures in the corner of some AI art? Surely that proves that AI art is just distorting an artist's work, right? Well, no, that's the AI generating its own signature, so to speak. It's learned that some paintings have squiggly lines or signatures in the corner, and so it generates a new signature. This is similar to what happens when AI tries to generate a book cover or a movie poster, and it generates titles and texts, but it's complete nonsense. It doesn't know how to do it well yet because it's still learning. So AI art is not stealing, mixing, or distorting other artists' existing work, and to say it is displays a lack of understanding of neural networks and spreads misinformation. But there is an ethical question here, but it's another question entirely. And what is that question? This is where the real ethical debate should be focused. Should AI be allowed to learn from other artists' work without their permission? If AI shouldn't be allowed to learn from studying other artists, what about a human? Should human beings not be allowed to study other artists' work when they're learning how to create? What do you think? But there's a bigger problem here, and that is, will AI replace artists, making them obsolete? A lot of people seem to think so. And what about the future of AI? It's developing incredibly rapidly. Where is it headed, and will human beings in general become obsolete? The answer to that is mind-blowing, and to understand it, we have to look at what artists are worried about. See, AI art can create art quickly, cheaply, and in many cases create something superior to what a real artist could make, depending on how you define superior. Now, this will affect the art industry, and some people will lose their jobs. There's no question about that. One example can be found in creating storyboards for movies. Now, there's no question that this will affect the art industry, but will artists become totally obsolete and replaced? Will it kill the art industry? Now, some people have compared this to the invention of photography. Think about this. When photography was invented, many people thought it would kill the art industry. After all, who would want their portrait painted when they could just have their picture taken instead? It also seemed like photography took a lot less skill than painting, and it could be created in minutes. But it turned out that photography didn't kill the art industry. The art industry actually has thrived, and photography even allowed artists to take reference photos to help them improve their art style. And many artists realized that photography actually took skill and became photographers. So could the advent of AI art be similar to the birth of photography? Perhaps artists can even use AI to generate concepts for their paintings and even learn new styles, similar to how people used the reference photos of photography. Imagine artists who become master manipulators of AI to produce images that an ordinary person just couldn't. Similar to the world of difference in quality between a master photographer and someone who just picked up a camera. But there's a bigger issue at hand. AI is developing extremely rapidly. If it's making this much of an impact on the art industry, what kind of impact will it have on the world in the near future? It could dramatically change everything. Imagine AI-generated movies, music, and video games. If you're a spiritual person and believe in the soul and reincarnation, could AI even be used to create new bodies, new avatars for our souls to inhabit? Ultimately, AI is a rapidly developing tool, more powerful than anything that we've seen before. The question is whether this tool will be used for good or bad. What do you think? What side of the debate are you on? Is AI art theft, or is it learning? Should it be allowed to learn from other artists' work? And what do you think of AI in general? Tell me in the comments because I'll be reading them. Hit like and subscribe, and check out my other videos like this one on the dead internet theory. It also involves AI. And if you've ever felt like you've learned something or gotten something from my videos, consider supporting on Patreon. You'll get access to our weekly secret live streams and videos and hidden Discord server, The Citadel. The link is right over here, or you can support on YouTube by hitting the join button right below this video now.